Do you think that national reciprocity shouldn't become the law of the land? Do you want some ammunition to argue for national reciprocity? I'm going to give you the top 5 pointers that I think make it just undoubtedly obvious that national reciprocity is an ethical and logical thing to do. Want to start by saying that there are states where people are allowed to open carry a gun, and it is accepted, generally acceptable in certain areas in that state. And they do not need a license to open carry these guns. Whether it's some states, it'll be they can open carry long guns and handguns. Other states, they can just open carry long guns. And it is the law of the land. And the zombie apocalypse hasn't occurred in these areas. And even more so, there are states with constitutional carry to where they have unlicensed concealed carry as a law of the land. Sometimes it just applies to residents. So if you're a non resident visiting, you would need a carry permit with reciprocity with that state. Now, in the number 2 spot is there's a lot of states that have existing reciprocity agreements with their permits. There's dozens of them. So this does 2 things. This first shows that there are already states that more or less practice national reciprocity already. But it also proves to a state that doesn't want to do national reciprocity that there's no real problem in doing it, because there's enough examples of states that already accept permits from all over the country, regardless of the training requirement in a permit or whether it was a shall issue or a may issue permit. They already recognize each other. In again, the zombie apocalypse has not happened in those areas yet. Now, in the number 3 spot are 2 articles that I'm going to provide links for in the description. And these articles show that concealed carry permit holders are low risk individuals. There are people that sat through a class, got fingerprinted, got a background check, and in some areas had to do a live firing monitor demonstration to show that they are proficient at using their guns. But regardless of if that requirement was there, there's data to show that they are low risk individuals. And one article even claimed they are people that commit less crimes than the police. So this is very compelling for these states that are against national reciprocity, that they can just rest assured knowing these are low risk individuals to begin with. No Wild West shootouts, quote unquote, are going to happen. Now, in the number 4 spot, I would like to talk about a lot of the arguments against national reciprocity, which are like, oh, people from very rural areas are going to conceal carry in very populated areas, or people who do not have the same training regiments or no training regiment whatsoever with guns are going to come into a place like New York where there's a lot of hurdles somebody has to go for if they're going to get a concealed carry permit. Here's the deal, guys. Enough states agree with each other on their permits, in those situations already would happen. There's already enough densely populated cities with relatively low training requirements where rural people go with their guns and nothing's really happened yet. So I think that's just completely illogical. Now, in the number 5 spot, this is going to take some explaining. This is 2 parts. First of all, every state allows in some way, shape, or form the ability for people to get a concealed carry permit. Whether they only issue 5 of them a decade or not, they all have the ability to do it. The problem is when somebody from out of state, if there's no reciprocity there, concealed carries, the repercussions are massive. And it's just not fair to put somebody who has just the intention of protecting themselves and their family in prison for 2 years because you just don't want to agree with their permit when they're a law-abiding citizen not breaking the law. The So that's a really, really important part of national reciprocity, is preventing that from happening. The next thing I'm going to mention along the same lines is these states that already issue these permits, all you're doing is entering their state with their laws that apply to their permit holders. So if they were afraid of, say, permit holders going on a school zone from out of state, and that's what scares them about national reciprocity, all they have to say is that nobody with a gun permit in our state, whether it's somebody who we issued the permit to or somebody from out of state, can go on a school zone. So they have the rights to regulate this to any degree that they want at the state level when you look at it from that angle. Honorable mention, there is a Second Amendment, and it does say shall not be infringed in it. And I think we can put two and two together. I don't think the founding fathers would have had a problem with national reciprocity. Hope you enjoyed listening to this. Please put in the comment section any other arguments you've heard against national reciprocity and what you think the logical solution is to those arguments. Please click like and subscribe. Thank you very much.